I'm toying with a concept here that I may develop into a full article, recording this before the midterm elections. But the concept is that win or lose, we, the reasonable, rational people of society, we must declare the lunatic left to be essentially incompatible with civil society. We must declare the enemies of civil society, those who are lawless, those who want America to be invaded by an endless stream of foreign nationals, those who lie and cheat and deceive in every way possible. They push fake news, fake narratives, they try to steal elections, they allow illegals to vote, they actually encourage it. They are anti America, but they are more than that. They're anti civilization. And it's time to push back against them and their bigotry. These are the people who call their political enemies Nazis and racist. And that they're on SNL mocking a one-eyed veteran, Crenshaw, running for office because he lost his eye as a U.S. soldier. And they're mocking him, making fun of the fact that he lost an eye serving his country. And these radical leftists, there's not a bone in their body that would serve anything that matters. They are traitors to America. They are spineless. They are lawless. They have no morality, no ethics, and no civility. And they are flat out incompatible with human civilization. And it is time to push back against them, win or lose in this election. We must out them, name them, defeat them in every way possible. I mean, nonviolent, of course, but using all the means of law and political power and just shaming them for their deceptive, abhorrent behavior. And if they gain power in this election, then we must flat out declare them to be illegitimate because they can only gain power by committing massive fraud, which they have done. They have engaged in massive censorship fraud. They've engaged in massive vote fraud. They have engaged in massive election funding fraud, campaign fraud, you name it. They are fraudsters and liars and cheaters. They are dishonest, and they will try to gain power by any means possible. We have to push back against that, and we have to overturn any fraud that they have committed in their desperate effort to try to stop this massive wave that's taking place globally, this wave of people believing in their own countries for a change. Yeah, the left calls it nationalism, but it just means you love your country. It just means that you are part of a community called a nation. It is a national community. Nationalism simply means to recognize and embrace your national community, that your nation has the right to exist, that your nation is worth something, that your nation has a role to play in this world. And leftists, of course, using the typical deception and bigotry that they always invoke, they turn it into a racial sounding smear, a slur. They call people white nationalists, trying to make it sound like white supremacy or KKK or something. Well, loving your country does not make you a bad person. In fact, it makes you a good person to love your country. And to love your countrymen and countrywomen makes you a good person. And it is a sign of the twisted distortion, deception, and just lawlessness of the left that they have turned love for your own country into a horrible sounding thing that's like racism. And if you love America now, you are a bad person, according to the left. You have to hate America to be embraced by these liberals. You have to want America to be overrun by illegal aliens. You have to want America to be destroyed in order to be okay with the left. And that's why they are so dangerous. And that's why it's time to push back against them hard. Not calling for violence, of course, but using truth and justice and righteousness and law and civility and due process. We must push back against these lawless, tyrannical, dangerous movements of the left. We cannot, you can no longer sit back and think that, oh, we just have slight differences in the way to run the government. That's not it anymore. The left believes in destroying everything that you value. The left believes in destroying America. The left believes in murdering police and overruling the rule of law and abandoning due process. The left believes in authoritarianism and tyranny, lawlessness, injustice, bigotry, racism, government theft of your private property. The left believes in enslaving the masses under a dangerous authoritarian regime that has no allowance for diversity of views. The left is so dangerous, and it's time to stop thinking that we can negotiate with them. It's time to stop thinking that we aren't already in a civil war, because we are. We're in a civil war. We're long past the stage of kumbaya, not going to sit around the campfire and agree to run America in a way that's consistent with the Constitution and the rule of law and due process, because the left has abandoned all of those things. And I know I've said in previous podcasts, I've said, well, why can't we find something in common? Why can't we at least find something to admire about each other? I'm willing to do that. But the left is not. The left is absolutely not. The left will only, they do not understand civility. They can't speak the language of due process. They have no rationality remaining. They are violent, they're lawless, they're tyrannical, they're dangerous, and they're incompatible with civil society. And you can't negotiate with them, just like you can't negotiate with terminators. You have to defeat them. You have to destroy them in the political sense. You have to make sure they never have power over you again. And across the globe, people are waking up and realizing this everywhere. And so the left is resorting to more and more desperation and fraud to try to stop this movement from happening. And they every time they lose an election, they go a little more insane because the people are rejecting them. And that's why I think there's a good chance that the voters might reject them sufficiently to hold the House of Representatives, although it's also just as likely, it seems, that Democrats could take the House of Representatives. I don't know the answer to that yet, but I know that they can only win by committing fraud. They can only win by lying about who they are. Democrats claim to be moderates. Sometimes they claim to be conservatives. Claire McCaskill in Missouri claims to support Trump's border wall. But in truth, behind the public cameras, all of these people are radical, deranged, lunatics, lawless lunatics, tyrants, authoritarians, cheaters, liars, dangerous people with a dangerous philosophy and a willingness to win elections by any means necessary, no matter how much they have to lie, cheat, steal, threaten. It doesn't, they have no boundaries. They have no adherence to anything that we would call morality or ethics. And that's why they must be defeated in every way possible. So again, regardless of the outcome of the midterm elections, it's time to push back. I'm going to work up an article on this. You'll see this at naturalnews.com. I'm going to work to lay out some specific points of how we push back and what we need to focus on. We could start with demanding that CNN and all the fake news media on the left issue a nationwide retraction and apology for all their fake news for the last 2 years on the Russia collusion hoax and fake news attacking President Trump. And also their refusal to cover any news that is harmful to Democrats. So how about that for point number one? And then maybe we could move on to say we demand nationwide voter ID. And we're simply no longer going to participate in this democracy. We're not going to recognize this republic. We're not going to recognize the Democrats, is a better way to say it, unless we have some basic rules, such as nationwide voter ID. Just refuse to acknowledge any authority of Democrats from this day forward, no matter what the outcome of the election. Democrats have no place in civil society, period. They have no right to exert power over you. And although they have rights to exist as individual human beings, they do not have the right to exist as government tyrants who are defrauding this constitutional republic. stay informed, read my website, naturalnews.com, watch my videos at brighteon.com, Brighteon. And of course, you can also hear my podcast at healthrangerreport.com. Thanks for listening, and God bless America.
Learn more at healthrangerreport.com.
Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.